Yes, you can start when you were born,
what
Mother.
I remember
What?
about when I'm born.
There, let's do that.
Okay. The first thing I remember, of course, is to hear about my father, who was a minister. And he used, instead of having television and like that, he used to read stories, like Uncle Tom's Cabin
Mm-hmm.
and everything like that. And we'd all sit around the living room and listen. And if my sister and I started crying because it was really sad, he'd say, "Go to your room." And then wait.
Would he wait for you to come back?
Oh, yeah. Until we got control of ourselves. Mother was always usually in doing the dishes or something. And he used to have people who worked for him. And he would see them taking something and he'd say, don't take that and have that on your conscience the rest of your life. Just take it. I don't care. And they did. But of course, in payment for that, usually they came back work for nothing. So it was paid off for him in a way. But, and of course, my brothers and sisters were all very interested in nature and liked everything. And my oldest brother, of course, went away to school. That's Theodore.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a doctor, and he always sent money home for everyone. Now he wanted so much for my brother Gene to be a dentist, and never happened that way. And Bill was very much like my father. He should have been a minister because he loved to talk to people, and that. But he was a mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
Worked in Detroit, and was a very good mechanic most of his life.
I always remember his jokes.
What?
I always remember Uncle Bill's jokes.
Yeah. Yeah, he always liked to tell a joke. His first wife, really he married because she was so good to him when he was ill.
Mm.
He owed something to her.
Mm-hmm.
And she took care of him when I guess he had lung disease of some kind. And she took care of him the whole time. And and then went back to his home. I think he was living at that time in Oregon. And that's when they had Sally and Frank Voigt.
Mm-hmm.
Sally was his daughter, and she married Frank. And he was a very strong Republican, so oftentimes we didn't get along well together, but he was a nice guy nevertheless, and they got along well together.
Mm-hmm.
And then, it was rather strange that I don't think any of my brothers or sisters buried their first love.
Really?
There always some reason that they owed to something.
Huh.
Like Ted was very fond of somebody, and he married Manya because she was something he owed something to.
I didn't know that.
And John had a very, I've forgotten what his name of his real friend, but he would love somebody from Pocatello. And he used to play the flute. And she was a singer, and they had a wonderful relationship. And what happened there, I don't know. I can't remember. But something happened. And he went back and married Bernice, who was very fond of him, but an entirely different kind of person, kind of bossy. So he subdued himself from that time on. though he earned the living all the time. But he used to have a company in which had a group of cottages. He'd take them on vacations, and she was to take care of, set it up for them and everything. She was always felt very put upon to have that duty to perform. And they were nice little cottages. I used to go out and stay with them sometimes.
How old were you?
Oh, I think 6 or 7, something like that.
Hmm.
See, John is my youngest brother, so I must have been 10. And I liked Bernice, but I always knew that she was bossing around a lot.
Hmm.
Don't you think I've talked enough?
I want to go back to your mom. What was it like? What was her life like at the
Need
farm?
some water or something?
What?
Need some water?
No, I think not. I clear my throat. Well, Mother was a nature lover, and I think my father was a president of a college before he became a minister, Pierce College. And they were both attracted to each other. He was much older, 22 years older than she.
Hmm.
And he was the kind of a person she liked. I don't think she was anywhere near as religious as she was. But she'd say, I don't think there's a sweeter character anywhere than your father. And when he died, I used to go around singing, if I should lose you, if ever I lose you. And she'd say, would you stop singing that song? And I'd stop for a few minutes, but then all of a sudden started to fight again, because I was thinking the same thing in a way.
Oh yeah.
And there's another song. It's been years since you went away, although it seems only a day. I look at this on the street at the faces I meet. It seems years that we won't say. I look at the sky and my lonesomeness. I don't know what goes in my happiness. I give all the world just for one caress. I'm lonesome, I guess. That's all. And I used to sing those things, and it was not easy for her. But I felt that way.
Mm-hmm.
Because, of course, she probably felt that way, too.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've never heard some of those songs since.
I'm not
They
familiar
just
with them.
stuck in my mind.